today we're looking through my middle school and high school sketchbooks. It's going to be a pretty long video, and I'm doing this because it's important to me to catalog my older works. There's a few things that are like kind of interesting and different about it to me. I used to make really different work than I do now, and I'm sort of trying to get back to what I was doing and find an equilibrium. And I don't know, there was a period where I sort of rejected everything that I did, and I don't think that's fair. I also think, these could be interesting. It's sort of a sign of the times. Like, if you're wondering what it was like being a high schooler in 2016, this is this is one person's experience, sort of. And there's a lot of trends. Like, I don't know if y'all remember high fructose. Instagram was really different. There was like hype beast culture influencing me in a weird way. Um, like a lot of anime. There's just a lot of random shit that goes in here. I should probably censor that or something. I don't think YouTube likes that. But yeah, so you know, this is a significant thing for me to do. It's gonna be a very long video. We're gonna be looking through, God, it's gotta be a dozen sketchbooks. A lot of them are like half filled out, unfortunately. But yeah, let's get into it. We're starting in middle school. This is 2016, so I was 14, which this is not this is not really at the level that I would have thought I was doing in 2016, but 2016 was my year where I studied a lot, and I put in some 8-hour days. And honestly, like I kind of like got a lot better this year. So my work in middle school was very black and white. I used a lot of toned sketchbooks, really, and it was very edgy, moody, dark, sort of Pinteresty, a lot of like Cara Delevingne and like random stuff like that. Uh, I had one teacher say one time that it reminded him of Francis Bacon, which is definitely a compliment, but it's not super the direction that I ended up going in life. So it's interesting how different it was. A lot of like iconography, like just drawing random things, houses, arrows, whatever could come to mind. My facial anatomy is, yeah, you can tell I wasn't hitting the books yet. This is really cool. I mean, it's all scratched out, but you can see the outline of the figure is actually like really cool. I still do like a moody angel statue thing. Cara Delevingne. Not myself today, not myself tomorrow. Very edgy. Just a lot of random little quotes. I've always just liked just kind of drawing what's in front of me. More edgy quotes. I'm not really sure what that means, but yeah. There's some like fashion-y stuff. This is clearly like anime inspired, and upside down cross necklace because why not? Yeah. That was very edgy. I think that's the one. Perhaps no. I mean, I had a bunch of stuff like this. This was the series of drawings that got me the Francis Bacon comparison. I think I'm just practicing a lot of poses and situations here. And I think at this time I was most inspired by like anime and comics, which is crazy. I mean, if y'all don't know, I do like primarily landscape oil paintings right now, but growing up I had all these different influences. This is maybe probably Cara Delevingne again. And now we're seeing the introduction of markers. I think I'm getting into markers. I was really into like somebody hiding under the covers. I was really into art YouTube and like Copic marker stuff. And you can see that a lot in my work, except there's a lot of pencil stuff here. At some point in high school, I kind of switch over to mostly pen. This is like a full-on like original character I had for a comic that I was sort of planning. The idea was this guy has no eyes and this girl has no mouth, and they like solve a murder together or something. I don't know. It was good practice. Obviously it didn't go anywhere, but I think people should just do projects even if they don't pan out. I think it's generally good. Classic middle school eye drawings. I'm signing it 2016. It is actually crazy all that I do and all that happens this year looking back. Keep drawing these characters. I was obsessed early high school with these guys. I was obsessed with like Letterman jackets and like high school parties and like stories that kind of surrounded that. So that's kind of that. And then I'm like painting over it and it's very interesting. It's not great. I do love these colors though. Honestly, I love these colors. I love the contrast or like lack thereof between the skin tone and the dress. I love this purpley pink thing going on. I think I was thinking a lot about like style and cartoonishness, and I think this is a character from something maybe. Tyler. This is the first time I painted Tyler the Creator, and it's definitely the worst time. But it was the start of so much. It was the start of so many portraits that I did, really. And it's an acrylic, which, you know, I'm just now at this point in my life starting to paint, really. I drew a homeless man. I don't know why, but I'm glad I'm like branching out in the characters and not just drawing high schoolers. That's cool. This is supposed to be on a trailhead, actually. And then I think I wanted to draw a face and then I didn't, which is kind of lame. These are like lovely little paintings. Every once in a while, I like really snapped. And obviously like there's some anatomy stuff. And you know, I probably did this later than a lot of the other drawings in here, but something about my earlier paintings, the way that I treated paint was, it was honestly quite nice. And I like these. Not this one so much, but like, and the tonal stuff, like this is fucking cool. And I guess it's acrylic. Fiona Apple. This was like probably right at the start of my Fiona Apple obsession. Yeah, I mean, I love this. And probably also right at the start of my like bright neon pink obsession. Like I love like a good opera pink, a good neon pink, and gel pens are very trendy. I hate them now, but I mean, this is making me want to grab them again because look at that bright ass pink against this toned background. I mean, that is so unique and interesting. Sketches, they're getting better. They're getting more angular, which was a big part of my development, was working in angles. That is such a huge thing from going from like beginner to intermediate, is sharp edges, baby. Like that is so, it's foundational, it's crucial. Drawing some dogs. I cut something out and put it as part of a different piece. This was like a self-portrait-y thing. Yeah, I think these are like later on than the first ones, like later on in the year. I don't know why I would be wearing a shirt that looks like that, but yeah. So the recording stopped automatically. The only thing I hope this doesn't keep happening. That was 11 minutes of filming. That's not when it should stop. It should stop at 30. So that's very strange. I was just saying, I don't know if I had this body type in high school, but also like, who cares? It was like, it looks like me now, like kind of a lot, which is funny. And then my friend drew this. I like having other people draw my sketchbook. Very nice. Good memories. Mostly, kind of. Another, presumably middle schoolish. Yeah, I guess this would be very early high school. So we're already seeing like major improvements in my drawings of people. So this would have been maybe partially referenced, but not completely. I reference myself a lot. And if you're like, how did she get so much better? Well, I mean, obviously I was drawing a lot, but I was also watching like Cynics, Ahmed Al-Duri, a bunch of other YouTubers at the time. A lot of other YouTubers, actually. So this is a character concept that I kind of had, which was sort of ripped off from Star Trek, maybe. I actually don't, like, this was something that, you know, those projects that you start when you're like 10 years old and they just blow completely out of proportion and you think your whole life's going to be about them, and then you just like kind of move on at some point because they're so structurally weak that you you can't keep working on them. This is that. But you know, like I kind of said before, you learn a lot from these sort of experiences. So there's this whole world of these characters. It was kind of like the world was like Doodle Bob meets Star Wars meets like Narnia. It was so weird. So I'm guessing these would be like creatures from that. This is like, sometimes I impress myself because this is really cool. This may have been one of the first times I went and I just like literally went and drew outside. And then I probably took it back and like finished it up, but like the colors and the way I laid in the marker here, I kind of love. Which is, I mean, wow, I wasn't even expecting to open the pages and see something like that. We're like experimenting with color and stuff here. Obviously, I'm not in love with these, but like, I'm trying, and that's really awesome. We have some mouth studies. I'm just starting to like come into my own a lot more here. I mean, you can see like the manga influence on my stuff so much. More doodling. I think doodling and like exploring with color and shape and line and divorcing that from like what you're drawing is so important. And I'm glad to see that I was doing it. More poses. I'm also probably reading a lot of manga at the time and like developing my taste in character drawings. Fooly Cooly. I don't know if that's a Fooly Cooly character, but I was watching Fooly Cooly. I was watching Soul Eater, a bunch of shoujo. And it's like, I mean, like I said before, I'm a landscape painter now. I mean, I want to get back into portraits, but like at the current moment, I do landscape paintings. So it's interesting how impactful like anime was on my development. Self-portrait. I mean, this is like, I don't really have anything bad to say about this, which is, you know, definitely proud of little me studying and studying and studying. painting I didn't finish, but I was like trying out stuff with style. The back of this is so funny. Some pen stuff, lists. And then you will begin to see a pattern of me not finishing these sketchbooks. And then I always like go in at the back. This is an outdoor painting that I sort of started. So we can see the origin of me. At the time I would have phrased it, trying to get good at landscapes, is how I probably would have phrased that. Because my main conception was like background artists from shows. And this is like this is a manga pen, which is why this ink looks so interesting. So here, I think, is the sketchbook that changed everything. My freshman year, this is the main sketchbook I remember using. Probably started my obsession with like mixed media. What is this? Like 9x12? Yeah, 9x12 sketchbooks. Like those have been my daily drivers, like my main, like what's in your bag. Girl, in my bag, I got a 9x12 mixed media sketchbook with the spirals. Let me see, hold up. Let me see if we're in frame. Okay, we're good. So I'm sort of really drilling down on like simplified character shapes here. Kill la Kill was another show I really liked, which, you know, come for me if you want to, but Studio Bones is like, nothing compares to it. I still think that. Again, I'm using like manga pens. I think I was also, there's this manga by the guys from Death Note. I forget what it's called, but they have one where the characters create a manga. And they talked about like the process, like adding screen tone and pens and all the stuff that like mangakas use. And I was obsessed with that, like learning all that I could. And then I have like shirt designs for some reason. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm gonna do merch. I don't know who wants your merch, girl. You're a high schooler, but you gotta dream big, right? Hand studies. I hate everything. Does anyone remember that? I had a vision, love. Don't know what I had a vision of. That might be a song lyric. Acrylic worked in over sketches. Really hate the look of that, but what are you gonna do? Invader Zim, Futurama, Rick and Morty, Star versus the Forces of Evil, and then I'm practicing fonts. It's kind of interesting. I mean, you can definitely see what was going on through my mind very clearly, like more clearly than you can nowadays looking at my sketchbooks, I think, but that's Brandon Rogers. Dabbing, very 2016. And what kind of happened is I'd make the drawings and then I'd go back and like I'd add over them and I'd add over them and I'd add over them because this sketchbook was like such a big thing to me and I wanted it to be like the art YouTubers and have everything like resolved and look finished and you know, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but this I was just starting to like experiment with like perspective and stuff and it's not good. I think this is more like an isometric kind of vibe. I don't know what I would call this. I don't want to think about it too hard. And then it kind of got doodled over, didn't get fully covered in, but it was a very memorable thing to me. Yeah, and you can see here more perspective. A bunch of feet. I don't know why those are so hairy. But yeah, just drilling, guys. That's how you do it. I kind of love the color craziness that's going on here. All marker stuff. I really was obsessed with like marker bleed for some reason, so sometimes I do a second drawing like using the bleed. But yeah, it was a lot of practicing putting characters in environments. This is also a very memorable piece to me because I felt very much at the time like my style was this like angularity. So there, you can see a lot of pieces where I'm sort of like really leaning into that. Feet, I don't know why I colored those. And it's so like, it's such a weird color that they are. Um, so this is more of that character. Somebody, one of my friends doodled over the faces, but you know, who cares? More character stuff. This is cute. I mean, like, I think the main problem with that series was I didn't write it, I just drew it, right? Like, that's one of the reasons it never panned out to anything, but like, I'm okay with that because it would have not been good. A lot of couches, characters, plus environments. Yeah. But I was just like, very simple lines were very much a thing. I don't think I was that into figure drawing at this point, but you can see I'm gaining an understanding of gesture. And then I drew like, you know, those like LA dance studio videos? These are probably from one of those. Angularity, cartoonishness, right? These are things that I'm thinking about as I'm learning anatomy and stuff, like how to simplify it down and make it compelling. Thumbnailing. So in my YouTube escapades of learning what makes a good image, I learned about thumbnailing and I drilled it more than I ever have since, I think. I would never make this many thumbnails. This is crazy. I don't know if these are referenced. I think they only like kind of are. I mean, fascinating stuff, man. Like, how did I have the stick-to-itiveness to do that? I don't know. Some of these drawings are getting more rendered out. I was definitely putting a lot more time and effort into shading in a way that I sort of lost at some point. Because I'm not a pencil shader kind of gal, much to many people's chagrin. Oh my gosh. Poses, poses. This is the guy from Cage the Elephant at the time. I was a Cage the Elephant fan. And you may be wondering, what are all these little filler things? Or you may not be, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Those little filler things are, I got exposed to James Jean in middle school, and he had these like signature doodles almost that were a part of his style, and they were a similar thing of like a topographic kind of look. So I'm trying to like embody that vibe a little bit here. This is, I think, James Bay and Sear. That's what I was saying when this like major 2016 vibes, like really like, you know, whatever. But another one where a friend doodled, like I kind of love the collab drawing thing, and that this hand I remember being really, really proud of. Brighter when you make me fade. Really into K-Flay. Spoon. Still love Spoon. Great taste. Great taste. A self-portrait that was like very flattering, and also like kind of not a self-portrait because even I knew it was flattering at the time, but like this was very much my style. Like if I could wear like a cropped long sleeve over a maxi skirt or dress, like that was the thing for me. environment stuff for my camera roll. I don't know. I was very into text art, like more than a lot of artists are, I think. More couches, so many couches. This is like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I was really into this manga. It's like a psychological, but it's for kids. It's pretty mild. Or not mild, it has like dark themes in it. But Bungaku Shoujo, Book Girl, is about a girl who ate books. Very cool. This is like the first, or one of the first character drawings where I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of good. And this was a different series that I was working on a little bit. Not this. That's a disaster. That's a disaster. But this is kind of interesting. And then I remember drawing this one day. I'm not drawing on the rest of this paper. Okay, then no. And it's another couch, and it's gory, and it's random, and yeah, that's a fun drawing. I definitely drew that in class. I have to remember. It was in history class. And then birds, lots of birds. Yeah, my friend doodled over all of this stuff. Yeah, birds. More environments. I don't know why I decided to go so symmetrical with it. I think I was trying to work on my ability to just like create environments out of the blue, like from my mind. Now we have some really good like value sketches. Like this is really good. And the chair, that complicated shadow, that's so much fun. And this was an underpass I used to visit a lot. I mean, you can tell 2016 was a different time because I don't think I'd spend as much time under underpasses now as I did then. More dance video, LA dance studio sketches. Yeah, I mean, I guess I thought that stuff was really cool back then, but it's also like, that's such a good idea, honestly. If you're sick of figure drawings, like, pull out a cool dance video with cool people in cool outfits. I'm very much a person who, like, is really interested in clothing and fabric folds and, like, how loose clothing, like, layers and stuff. And I think that was also influenced, my mom was in like the clothing business. So it was something I thought about a lot, like seams and layered fabrics and stuff. So it kind of explains why I'm more interested in portraits of people that are like not nudes. Like, you know, maybe that sounds silly, but I'm more interested in how people choose to express themselves and also like the dynamics of fabrics and things than figure drawing, which is something that kind of still has an impact on the work I make to this day. These are all probably from older sketchbooks that I kind of pasted in. Like, what kind of clowny stuff is going on there? I don't know. I kind of love this because it shows that I had good taste, because Vince Staples' portrait. And I know we all love Vince Staples now, so there he is. It's very much an Odd Future fan, enjoyer. And not just Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, and frickin' Vince, because he collabed with Earl, and then, like, I don't know, there's so many random people that were in that group. Oh my god. Fucking, what's his name? Frank Ocean, too. Definitely Frank Ocean. Character drawings. These are also probably older, but I was really like characters interacting because keeping proportion and stuff and keeping them in line with each other was really important, and developing these characters more. These are cute. Like I'm very charmed by these drawings. And then this is a different comic idea. So this whole part of this thing is that me soft launching that I might be getting back into comics. And this is proof that I've always been interested. So it's very dorky. And I'm not as into anime and stuff anymore, but something about like writing a story and creating characters is still very interesting to me. These are all copied, except for that horrible thing, from Rebus, James Jean. Definitely one of my idols. He also has like a pretty heavy manga influence in his work that I found interesting. There's that. Blue hair, something, something. That was a different character from a different comic idea I had that hasn't been previously mentioned. I did not draw that. My friend drew that, who was doodling all over the things. Yeah, fucking word art. And I painted over some of it, I guess, but I like the composition here. These are both kind of cool. Like, obviously, like, I don't love how I rendered the skin and stuff here, but it's kind of cool. It's very fun. Marker bleed. Hands, a better page of hands. I didn't realize how long ago I drew this. I still kind of stand by this. I think I put this on my website. It's not like great, but it's interesting. I don't know. I still like drawings of hands. Wish I would have put that white pen down. The Signo. If you know, you know. Yeah, wish I would have put that down, but here we are. This, I think, is Zilker Park. It's definitely Zilker Park. I mean, look at that. And this is from How to Be a Human Being by Glass Animals. That really popped off in like 2016. I was definitely like stereotyping people here, but just because I'm interested in people and characters. I don't think, well, I was kind of a hater. I was kind of a hater in high school. I was. But I think it's interesting because it captures the style of dress a little bit of like 2016. And, you know, not just 2016, but Austin, like a high school in Austin in 2016. I almost wish I had like done more so you could see more, but like this is what, you know, my conception of like a nerd would look like. And then we had people who would thrift a lot, what they would kind of wear. Then basic, they had the Tyler shirt and the athletic shorts. Like these are not necessarily things that are in style anymore, so it's interesting to see. This was the view from the window outside of the art class I was in, I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a drawing. I don't know what to say, but it's kind of fun. Toucans. Okay. Like, all right. I don't know why I did this. This was another history class drawing. It's kind of fun. Just like thinking about drawing trees and stuff. That's been a lifelong journey for me, drawing trees. And things that are in front of me, I'm kind of leaning into that more. This is Amy Winehouse. Kill la Kill again. I was obsessed with this character. You've been here 7 years longer than me. Yeah, man. I've had Instagram for almost a decade. Like I'm 24, but like I'm old. I don't know. Just random ass doodles. This is, I think, when Trump got elected. I was like, oh, what if I do like American stuff, but I switched the colors or not. That might not be another copy from Rebus. I need to. I have that book at my dad's house. I need to get it back in my collection and look through it again because it was such. Did not draw that. Just feel the need to say that. Okay. My friend drew these. Different friend. Yeah, this was when Trump got elected. I was like, everything's backwards. These are a copy from some movie I didn't watch, like Little Women or Pride and Prejudice or something. This is my friend Abby made these. Kind of fun, like sad girl stuff. What's in here? I'm kind of scared. Storyboards. Yes, I did occasionally make storyboards. And this is my Texas Renfest Survival 2015. Holy shit. Chance of rain. Rain gear. 2 pairs of shoes. A change of clothes. Skivvies. Bring money. Lost guest services. I'm glad that that's so funny that I need to list. Great stuff. Just on my Bob Ross. Oh, my Bob Ross. These are not mine. I was really, really a big fan of getting other people to draw my sketchbook back then. These are like kind of cool drawings, but it's so much like blah. Then we got tree studies. These are from a book, I think. And a painting of an apple. Tyler, what are you doing here? Figure. This is Figure. This is probably from lineofaction.com. And then I probably hated a lot of them and I ended up painting over them. But I love the abstract craziness that is going on there. Bam. Oh, y'all, I'm filming all of these in one day and I'm starting to get very, very exhausted. These are probably copied off of Rebus. And I don't know which sketchbook this went to because several of them are missing their backs. Which is definitely the downside. I mean, this is definitely the downside of this right here, of using spiral sketchbooks. If you treat them better, you won't run into this issue as much. I love this Posca drawing though, and I think that's why I felt the need to show it off. So this is 2017, so I guess this was earlier in time. Yeah. Girl, I don't know. So this is an earlier drawing of Bunny. Like, truly, this is gonna be fast because I'm just not sure much of this is like very interesting. So we have drawings from observation. These are fun. I always kind of like these pen drawings and stuff. This is really fun, actually. The colors here, like oil slick kind of vibe. Somebody who just posted like portraits of Amy Winehouse posted that. It's such a piece of crap. I mean, the drawing's okay, but the rendering is horrendous, but I feel really good about myself for doing that. Yeah, this is old drawings of trees, weird stuff. Yeah. It was definitely like sort of like an e-girl futurism kind of thing to my style that I used to really like. This is a high school I went to, this mascot. He was called Mr. Maru, and he was a maroon buzzball. Barns. That's foreshadowing for my future life. Drawing barns and stuff. No. Very edgy. Very edgy. This is cool. So here's an interesting thing. I used to draw characters a lot with like ambiguous gender representation, and that was probably for a few reasons. I really liked Princess Jellyfish, and I also just really didn't like drawing boobs. Maybe you were looking for something deeper. That's mainly what I think it is, but yeah. Very nice drawing of an eye. As a drawing of me when I was little. I went to India and fed the monkeys. Like why did I do this? Why did I do like a shitty Zen doodle and then write ethics in big letters? Like why did I do that? I don't know. I'm very perplexed by my choices here, and I think that's just so fun. Okay. Fabergé egg. This is kind of cool. I don't know. Like stay woke shirt. Like what? Like, this was some Cynics anime thing that I did. I don't know. I don't know what or why or when or where. Like, that's the feeling that I have when I look at this. I'm like, this is like, it's like kind of good, but it mostly sucks. You may be able to tell that I was not very organized. I did not date things. I did not take very good care of my stuff. So if you had an image in your head of the neat, clean artist with the good handwriting that's very organized, which maybe you don't because that's not really a thing, but if you did, I am here to prove you wrong. Okay. But I tried to like vaguely organize this by like older to newer. Here I'm messing with Copics. This is like the alcohol. And I gave most of my Copics away, actually. I'm glad they got into the hands of other people because my marker obsession did not last. And mostly my parents spent a lot of money on these stupid, even back then, y'all, Copics were $8 a pop. Like, each. And nowadays we have the Ohuhus, and we kind of did back then, but there were a lot less options. This is the panty and stocking. So it's just like, it really is. I think there's something interesting to be said. Like, we are living in different times now. Like, this kind of stuff, it's not as trendy as it was. And I just like, I've been thinking about that a little bit. I think I've been thinking about what makes Gen Z art, contemporary art, highbrow art, lowbrow art, like the anthropological like background that we all came into. I'm getting into comics. I think these are like designs. I had a friend and we kind of wanted to do this comic thing together. We never ended up doing it, but it was cool. It was fun idea. It was very like a little bit Gorillas inspired, a little bit Scott Pilgrim inspired. I never read it because I didn't like the drawings. Never seen the movie either, but those were the inspirations. Just drawings of people. They're kind of like half-hearted. This is the most 2016, 2017, probably 2016 thing I've ever seen. I love the fashion stuff. Like, this is me doing Poor Things before Poor Things. Like, can we talk about that? How I did Poor Things before Poor Things? Because look at this fucking outfit. Yeah, man, you could tell my mom had a dress company. Like, somebody gives a shit about you. Did I write that? That's my handwriting. This doesn't sound like something I would say. So this color palette is really interesting. Tyler, the Creator, also not a great portrait, but yeah, it's not great. Was really obsessed with like very blue jeans for some reason. This is fun. I don't know why she's so skinny, like so skinny, but this is fun. I at some point got really into drawing people in profile. And I love her hair. Looks like my mom a little bit. I don't think my mom ever had bangs. I think at some point here, I get into color in a really interesting way. Like, my treatment of color in this era, honestly, like, I almost don't live up to it now. So, I mean, I have a lot to learn from my past self, I think. Skateboard, super sick, dude. Just like practicing more poses, I guess. This is fun. Like, yeah, she's pretty. I like this one. This is kind of copied from an Edwin Austin Alley painting, who I discovered and got really obsessed with. But like my own character, kind of. So I think that's interesting. And I'm so sorry if you cringe at like wastefulness, like you will not like how I did my sketchbooks here, but yeah. Thumbnails. This is fun. Like, I like the road going into the distance. This is what my username used to be on Instagram. This is cool. There was like an element of futurism that I was interested in and like kind of drawing off of that I don't really do anymore. Truly, truly hate it, but you know, I went for it. I was thinking about like a cartoony style. I mean, like hype culture and street art weirdly had an influence on me. Like, I'm fully a white girl from the suburbs, but I think it had an influence on like a lot of people back in the day. These are stick and pokes from Ninja, Diane's word. Don't worry, like this is all before the human trafficking stuff came out, or at least before I heard about it. My mom was a huge Diane's word fan growing up, which is kind of funny for a lot of reasons, but this is either sort of copied or like very heavily inspired by some Jean Rebus stuff. Then I have character sketches that are all me, which is nice. I think it's just heavily inspired. I think I mostly came up with that because what the fuck is that hat? Like, what the fuck is that hat? I like this era of character sketches for me. I'm getting more into pen here. It's like a year or two down the line versus the last one for sure. There's really starting to be a cool look to my drawings of people. Not to toot my own horn, but I mean, yeah, I do. I think there's merit to some of that stuff. So, this is once again, I was not like a pretty cover girl. I mean, I kind of experimented with that with some of my other sketchbooks, but I guess I'm a low pressure kind of thing. I like low pressure stuff, and I'm not the neatest or most organized person, and that shows in the way I like approached sketchbooks back then. This is like my classic, and this is like my friend making these. I think that also like sort of made it more accessible to draw, was having friends draw in it, because then it's like, okay, we're all just like creativity space. This like I think about this sketchbook, I'm pretty sure this is a sketchbook where I'm like, this is very 2017, this is very 2018 for me. I think that's when these were made. This was very much like what my work kind of looked like. I have a lot of nostalgia for this era. I think this is when I got the most attention, like in life, on Instagram, on my artwork. I don't have a lot of people saying a lot of stuff to me anymore about my art or the things I do, or like getting excited about the things I do, which maybe sounds sad, but when you pursue art, it's kind of a like a lifelong thing, and you're not always going to be like getting like oodles of attention or people telling you you're so good. But when you're like a prodigy, which like I kind of was, I wasn't like focused or disciplined enough. Like I've met some people who are just making incredible stuff at this age, and I'm like, I kind of am. But you know how it is when you're growing up and you like stand out in your art classes, the type of attention you get when you're like perceived as advanced in art as a teenager completely goes away in your 20s, and then you're kind of like, I don't know, it's just different. It's just a different experience of being an artist. You have to like it for like other reasons to keep doing it, I think. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all, or if anyone relates, but I'm not really commenting much on these because I'm like, I don't really know what to say, but yeah, this was just what my art was looking like. It's a little bit fashion-y, it's a little bit character-y, a lot of side profiles. He's saying, if looking at this makes you uncomfortable, imagine how I feel. But yeah, still leaning into the character stuff. I had this character that was like, he had a lot of freckles, which is interesting. My mom has a lot of freckles, so you can see where I got like the idea. I also have a really, really bad habit of not knowing which way my sketchbook is facing and drawing upside down. Still do. Doing some like fun, edgy stuff here. Like this is just so me. Yeah. You know, I had a very surrealist like bent to my drawings, and when I started painting, I kind of did a lot of stuff like that. Uh really obsessed with the upside down crosses. These pen sketches are so my battery died, but we're back in business, baby. I'm drawing some poses here. I don't even know what I was talking about before. That was 30 minutes ago. I had to charge my freaking batteries. This is cool. There's something not quite right with her eyes. They're a little strange. I like her nose though. That's very interesting. Cool. Fetch my Tesla, Diane. Cool guy character. Very cool. Very cool. This is fun. Kind of love this, like, realism stuff. It's really into onks. And then this is like sort of a self-portrait. Sort of, really not. Another Zim. I don't know what was here. I like this cute girl with the braids, or not the braids. I mean, she has braids up here, but with the buns. This one freaks me out, and that body really freaks me out too. Also, I do love the red pen though. We're messing around with different pen colors. I guess I got some somehow. This is kind of fun. I think, was this one of the ones I abandoned? No, okay. And then more cartoony stuff. I was organizing stuff into phases. I like her face. I don't know what's going on with the body here, but trying to like switch up the vibe. Hey, dude, you're done. You don't need to. My cat's like, he just does too much. Like, he will not stop scratching the outside of the litter box as if that's covering anything. Okay. All right. Moving on. I would try to like set an intention for like an aesthetic for parts of the sketchbook, which I only really like halfway followed through with. So we have, this is a drawing of my mom. It's okay. We have some things from some photos, and I wish I could credit, but yeah, there ain't no way. This is all old Pinterest stuff. I actually had this embroidery project that I was working on, so that's what these sketches are for. Never finished that either. I was really into shoes, so I drew some shoes and some fashion stuff. Another drawing of my mom that turned into a painting that I never finished. Yes. And this time in my life, my mother was terminally ill, and I started this big portrait of her, and I never finished it because she died. So that was fun. No, not fun. Sorry. Dark sense of humor. Sorry. More fashion. Red pen. Yay, yay, yay. These are cute. Almost certainly also from photographs of some sort. I really hate this style thing that I have going on. It has a lot of the like, I mean, it has a combination of my own personal quirks and like fashion trends from, I guess, 2017. So this is a skater girl, and she has like the check marks, the bright colors, and freaking fishnets. Crazy, crazy. Drawn some houses, different perspectives of different things. Just grinding. Not in love with how skinny everybody was and everything that I did. Honestly. Okay. On to the next one. Orange pen. Kind of wish I had still had that. That's kind of cool. You know, sometimes I would just like legit just paint a random page. This is some sort of sky thing. It may or may not be a study. Really not loving these environments, but it was important for my like personal growth and development or whatever. I think this is gonna be a quick one because I'm just not loving the vibes. This is my character with the freckles. Whew. Yeah, trying to study faces, going absolutely nuts with the paint. Yeah, wow. This is probably definitely freshman year because this is Yeah, I was such a hater, honestly. I don't even want to read all this because it's like, it's very hater. This is cool. I don't know who this is. It's somebody. Then a face thing. This girl got punched in the face, maybe. I never, like, found a way to finish this drawing. Cool drawing of a coat. I do like that. I do like that. More stuff copied from Rebus. I can hardly even tell what's going on here, but I'm sure something is going. Yeah, so there's eye. This is like my favorite painting ever that James Jean did. Interesting colors. This is cute. I had an idea for like a magazine called The Beauty Standard. Not like an idea, just like a little thing. I would try to draw cats and they'd always come out really weird. So that was a theme in my earlier drawings. Doing some animals. Animales. Yeah. Character stuff. Probably another Pinterest thing. This was another trail that I used to go on. I was really sitting on a bench here, like looking. And then I like the weird colors for sure. Would still do that today, but better, obviously. Yeah, this is gonna be a quick one, I suppose. I did not draw these, by the way. A hat. Cute! Definitely from a photo. And this is also definitely from a photo. And this is also definitely from a photo. You might have seen this reference before. It's on like 100 Heads. I think that's one of the 100 Heads references. Betty Boop. That's cute. I don't know what this is, but I like it. And it's my obsession with ancient Egypt and occult stuff kind of makes some appearances at some points here. Okay. Another one down. We're like less than halfway through. This is mostly an empty sketchbook. It also has some of my dad's drawings from when he was younger. But then it also has mine. I like this thick pen stuff. These are my dad's. Probably some like anatomy homework. I had just read Being and Nothingness by Sartre, and yeah, wow, my main takeaway, life is meaningless, don't be a waiter. I think that was the point of the book. Is there anything else in here? I'm sure there is. Drawing of No Name. Really liked back then. I liked all the, or most of the, like, needle drop recommended albums. Meow, meow, meow. There's something weird that's been spilled in here. Okay, cool. I swear there's some other drawing somewhere in here. Oh, yes. This is why this is in the stack, probably. I had this idea for a thing called Adrienne. Oh my god, I made a character emotion sheet. Crazy. And it's not very good. But the vibes are good. This is actually one that I'm thinking of readapting a little bit, but with a different concept, but same character. Tyler the Creator. Rabbits. This is really fun. Like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's fun. Weird piercings and like, yeah, I fuck with it. And then these are like obviously very skinny too, but fun. They're stylized in like a fun way. Different like body sketches, figure stuff.